Hi everybody, and welcome in this new tutorial. We want to show how easy it can be to make a mini game that takes advantage of the 3D physics engine of Unity. So I want to show this with a little board that I will make with a cube, and I will add some color, just a blue. I will change the albedo. I will make it, yeah, this is quite hmm, quite nice. Okay, I will use this. Then I want to add, this for me is a board on which I can walk. So I will add me as a player. I will add a sphere, a little ball. So I will make this, I will call this ball. I will make another color. I will make it yellow. Mhm. And I will call it yellow. Yeah, I have to. Yes. Okay. And now I will take my ball. I will make a little bigger. Yeah. I will put above the plane, and I will paint yellow. Okay. Now I want to rotate the plane, and I want that the sphere goes left, right, and so on, moves in accordance with gravity when I rotate the plane. So what I will do is essentially writing a script that in the board that accept in input the axis that I will use on the keyboard, so the arrows, and will rotate accordingly the plane. So I essentially add the component. I add the board controller. So I have a script, and I can obviously make a scripts folder to put my script into. I can do materials folder to put my materials inside. I go into script. I go into the Visual Studio. Okay, so I will do a instance to my transform. So I will do private transform me, and start will be me is equal get component transform. Okay, now let's clean a little. Okay, now I save. I want now to rotate my plane, me. How can I do it? I will essentially use the get axis. So I will do a float. X is given by input get axis. I want to change on the X, so I have to rotate on the Z axis. So I have to take the vertical arrows up and down, essentially. I will multiply this value that can be between -1 and 1 depending on the arrows up and down. I can multiply it by a multiplier speed value, otherwise it will take immensely long frame by frame to change the rotation. So I will do a rotation speed. I will put it at 10 to start. I can change. So I will multiply this by rotation speed and again always by time dot delta time to be time independent from the frames. I do the same on the Z. I have an input dot get axis horizontal, and I will multiply by rotation speed and again by time dot delta time. Okay, now if I do a rotation of me, I can do a me dot rotate at a new vector tree that contains x 0 on y. I don't want to rotate the plane on that axis, and z, and this will make the my goal. Only for the x, for the vertical, when I push the up button, I want that the plane moves down in front, far from me, and so I have to really to change this value on the x and on z. On z I have to do minus, because when I move on the horizontal, I can I have to invert left and right to be more similar to the common behavior. When I push left, I want that the plane goes left, and when I play right, yes, the same on the right. It would go just in reverse order if I would leave this without the minus, but we can see here. So I will play. So as I push the left arrow, it goes down on the left, the right goes and up and down arrows. It's pretty good. So, but the sphere does not move. Why? That's because the sphere does not have yet a gravity, so I can add a physics to the ball. I will add a rigid body, and I will make use gravity. That is not enough, because when I have this kind of movement of the plane under, it would still not move, because it will just keep he knows, the ball, that there is something under, so he cannot fall, but will not move the gravity component on the horizontal axis to go in left direction in this case. So how can we do? Well, if we use is kinematic, as we can see, we don't have an effect either. So we have to use another method to, when we have to react at this kind of forces, we add to the object, we add another physics component that is constant force. With the constant force, we can say there is always some force that calls under, for example, so -1 to the 3D coordinate, so that the rules of the rigid body will apply. Now we can see it in action. If I move the plane now, it goes down. Perfect. Now what we want to do is having some kind of a little game in which the ball must reach a goal that can be another game object. So I can make another cube. I make it maybe, let's make it, okay, not so easy, 4 by 4. Yeah, this can be little. And I will move it up little too high. I can put it in the back like 10, so it stays so. As you can see, I am a little too high. I should go to 2, for example. It's a good 2.5. Yes. Okay. So, and I will apply the material that I can create now, that is, for example, green material. So I will go to nice green. Yeah, good. And I will apply to this. Okay. I will call this cube gold. Wow. Now I can press play and I can try to move, but look what happens. The cube does not move with the board. That's because we put the goal, so the cube, outside the board rotation transformation. We can make it coherent, so attach to the board, by taking goal and putting over board so that it becomes a child of board. Now, if we play again, we will see that the movement will be coherent, as you can see. Okay. Okay, now I want to add some little behavior so that when we hit the goal, then the game is reset in a win condition. When the ball falls under a certain amount, then it will be declared a loss. So to do this, okay, this is very easy to do with the collision. So I will just use the on trigger when the ball touch the cube. The cube has already a box collider, as we can see, and the ball has a sphere collider. So we can very easily check the eventual triggering of the contact. So if I go on goal, I can make it is trigger, so that I will be informed when someone touches the goal, this touch the box collider. The problem with this trigger is that then you have no more a physical appearance. It means that you can pass by an object. So we have to stop the movement when we reach the box collider. We have to reset the position of the plane and put the ball back into the original position. So how can we do it? We can add no, I need first to go in my goal, and I need to have a on trigger on the colliding. So I will add a new script that is goal manager. I go into the assets, I take the goal manager and I will move into scripts. Then I will go into goal manager and I will essentially do a private on trigger enter. The on trigger enter means that I have been hit by something, and the information is in the here. on the variable collider that is passed to me. But okay, now I have only one player, it's just one ball, so I don't need to check. I just want to know that when the ball hits the goal manager, then we have reached the win situation. So what I will do is essentially I will inform the board that it must be reset in horizontal position, and the ball must be set back to the original coordinates. I can do this by informing the object that something happened, so that a win situation happened. So I need first to get a reference to the object. How can I do this? I can do this in two ways. I can make something like game object board, and I can discover it here by doing board. Yeah, I can write something like game object find game object with tag, and I can put a tag on the board. The other way would be to make it public and associate directly the board to the object that I have. So I can go here on the goal. You see that now I have the board, the non-game object. I can just take the board and I can associate. This is the another way. Both ways are good. If I would have tagged, I could have, for example, tagged this as a game controller. I could have had a tag like board, and I could have discovered it by using the find method, but it's the same. I will do this way now. So I will also do a public game object ball, and I will associate the ball to I don't see because I didn't save. And now I will see it. Ball with ball. Good. So this is a way if I want to communicate to a specific object that something happened via a send message. So I will do something like board send message, and I will now write the name of a method that will be executed on the board script when this line of code is executed. So board send message, for example, the method could be reset game, and I can do the same with the ball send message reset game. Okay, so what happens here now? Now I have to go into this two and write board and ball and write the method. So I will go into the board controller and I will write something like public void reset game, and this will be called when this line of code is executed. Reset game will call this reset game. I can obviously do the same with the ball. So I will go into ball. I will add the script. Ball manager, and I will take this script from here, of course, putting into scripts, and I will open it. Ball manager. Well, I can practically do the same thing. Public void reset game, and that's it. But when these two methods are to be invoked, when we have a trigger enter, how do we know? Is because we had the collision on the goal, box collider set on its trigger. So this is the logic of the procedure. When we reset the game, what happens? First of all, the board controller, that is the easiest part. I have just to, I have me as transform, so I can do me dot rotation is the rotation, you know, is a quaternion. Well, I can reset the quaternion by making quaternion dot identity. I can just reset the plane. How can I do? Okay, let's just test. I will move, touch, and the plane goes back. Obviously, the ball continues to fall because I didn't yet modify the ball behavior. So now I go in ball, and so the board receives correctly the message sent by the method send the message. To reset the ball, I can do first I will reposition, so I can do transform me private, and I associate to get component transform. I can do me dot position is equal to the starting situation. Which is the starting situation? Well, the ball is in 0, 0, 1.5, so we can make a new vector tree that is 0 and 1.5 and 0. Okay, so you will see that something interesting now will happen, because it will reposition, but look, it will continue his movement that had originally. That's because the rigid body contains still this information. It contains the speed and conserve this speed. We have no dumping in this universe if we do not program it or not write it. So I have to adjust the rigid body. So I will make a rigid body RB get component rigid body, and I will set the velocity that you can see is a vector 3 to vector 3 dot 0. If I want to be absolutely sure that there is not also added an angular velocity to our player, to our objects in complex games, we can have also angular velocity added to velocity to make the physics extremely realistic. So I also will put this at 0. So I will just 0 also this, and this will make the intended goal, because I can now just touch and it will stop again. What happens when it goes down? Well, we can check the elevation reached by y, for example, and if it is too negative, we can just call reset again. I will leave this as an exercise to all of you. It is the same thing. It just starts not into the goal manager. It would start into the ball manager. I would here check if y is lower than some number, for example -100. Then what I would do is call a lose game method, and then in a lose game method I would just send messages to the board to reset, and I will reset then my speed. So it would be another point of information broadcasting into the game. This is practically repeating what we have already done on the other um, method. So now we can make it an interesting game by putting, for example, some obstacles and making it difficult to um, pass this and to reach the goal. So I can, for example, make something like this, and I will I can make a color for this. I can make it maybe also, yeah, blue or red. Let's make another color, red. Red, and this would make an interesting game for having very accurate physics modeling of our speed, as quite a little too forward, so I can make it maybe 6. Yeah, so this will be would make some kind of nice game. I have a box collider on the cube, perfect, so it will just work. So we can see, yes, I have to attach, so the cube attached to the board, and now, yeah, I can move, and well, I have to try to pass and not to will I do it? No way, it's impossible for me. Okay, I will. Okay, maybe you will be absolutely yeah, better than me on this game, and you can make as many obstacles as you like. So you can, for example, add another cube by making copy paste, and you can move it, yeah, for example, so, and it will make a very nice game for yeah, change your skills on movement. No, okay, I will not do it, you know already. I want to make, just as a last thing, I want to make easier the camera to always focus on the action, otherwise it would become extremely difficult to play. So I can make the camera coherent with the ball. So I can take my camera, I can put on ball, and I can make it, I can reset the coordinate, so of the main camera, and I will make it yeah, a little back, and a little eye, a little angle, yeah, maybe 35. Okay, so I can try it, and I can see if it works or not. Look, we obtain this because we have put the main camera into a rotating coordinate of the ball that rotates. So to avoid this, we can put coherent with the board instead. If the board remains fixed on a specific axis when it moves, so we will not have any more this kind of problem. And when we move the plane, also the camera will move with it. I can test it. You see, I am moving, but yeah, I am moving the camera together with the plane. How can I see what happens behind? Uh, yes, this is how can I understand the movement? Well, I can do it in various ways. One is to put a skybox behind. Okay, I will add the skybox on the back so that we have a better reference. To add the skybox, first I want to put my camera a little more, maybe a little higher, a little more in the back. Yeah, that's quite nice. Okay, and now I will add with the import new asset, I will add just a JPEG image that I have found on Google. So just a Milky Way galaxy image. And this is just an image, so some kind of graphics that I can add to material. So I go to material, I will create a material, I call it sky. Okay, this is sky. The rendering mode I will pass, it's okay, opaque, it's good, it's good. So I will now go into the shader and I will select instead of the standard, I will go to Skybox and I will choose panoramic to have a full 360 skybox around. And when here I see there is a known texture, I can just take my Milky Way and I can put on it. It is a little distorted, so I can make it 180 degrees and a mirror on the back so that I have a nice image. And then I go to lighting. Lighting, I have a skybox material that normally is set on default skybox. I will now just select my sky that I have here. I can also do this by simply take sky and putting on the skybox material. That's what we have. So I can now play the game again. And now I have well, that's quite better. I can imagine what this could be when you are piloting an X-Wing or a T-Fighter in this yeah, Star Wars-like environment. I think that is pretty nice to make amazing games. So with the Unity, with all these nice techniques. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial and hope to have you soon in next tutorials. Please leave a comment, and if you liked the tutorial, please make us know and leave a like on the YouTube channel. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Ciao.